gold. I'll just do a quick top-down analysis so that you see why we are anticipating, why whatever I'm anticipating. Right. So gold to the left here, this is just basic. These are basic things that you can see. Block structure, that was a major break of structure to the left. We can all see that. I think I spoke about this. I think I spoke about this in the other gold video. If ever you didn't watch the other gold video, go to my YouTube channel, you'll find it. You'll find it. I did the analysis on gold as well. So after that major break of structure, it established this highest point here. Right. After establishing that highest point, I said above there, that's what we call a premium zone. Below here, that's where our discount zone is. So you can already see that we have an untapped demand there in the discount zone. We have that demand that was not tapped. We also have this one. We have quite some beautiful levels down there that are not fully tapped, just immediate close to where the market is. We have also this other demand that is here. So for the meanwhile, we won't talk about these two because it will take months for it might even take the whole of next year for the market to come all the way down to here. Right. So basically, after the major break of structure, the market is up there now. The basic from basic understanding of our strategy, we know that after that major break of structure, we must shift order flow down to pull back price into a discount zone before a continuation. The three-leg movement like this, ta ta ta. That is always happening every time on the market. So that's a basic understanding. So basically, you'll be anticipating the drop. So now looking deeper when we zoom in like this. When I zoom in like this, you realize that here they came and touched this highest point. That's where I said you were supposed to take swing sells from there of gold. Swing sniper sells on gold, you could have taken them from that weak rejection there, which came to this zone, right? So that is it on the monthly. Nothing much to talk about. Nothing much to talk about on the monthly. Let us go to the weekly. Then we go to the daily and finally to the 4 hour and maybe the 1 hour if there's any need. So this is the zone according to this was the zone according to the monthly, right? So according to the weekly, this is our supply zone. This one that I've just marked. These candles 1, 2, 3, they are still within this supply. So this supply is still holding. That is why that was one is our supply. This one is not our supply. Our supply is this candle that you see that was holding all these others. So just from that basic understanding, you know that is our demand. I mean, you know that if ever it wants to tap into the demand, it will come to there, then before maybe shooting up, right? That's basic understanding as well. Looking to the left, if you trace this impulse move upwards, right? If you trace this impulse move upwards, you want to trace and figure out where did it start initially. You realize that they actually started on this demand, which was also a very major swing by to the upside. After they collected liquidity, their liquidity was collected before that move actually happened, right? So those are some of the things that you must know. This is information that you must always be having in your fingertips, which will help you not to take minor opportunities and make sure that you're always taking every major opportunity on the market. You always take it, right? So looking to the left, this was a leg here. If you stretch it like this is on the weekly. If you stretch this leg like this, you realize that they broke below here. So then breaking below there, that's what we call a change of character. This change of character is there now to facilitate the pullback that we want on the monthly. The pullback that we want on the monthly, that pullback into a into a discount zone that is within within the discount region. Right. So basically, that pullback is the pullback that I started already from the top. This change of character was the confirmation to say we're now going down, right? Then the first major entry was there, the sniper entry, which was the sell there. So right now, according to just this basic drawing that I did here, I can as well remove this. Why am I removing that? After this change of character, our structure is now like this. This is our low. This was our high. That's also another high. So according to that structure, we're anticipating them to come and take out this low, forming a break of structure before maybe a pullback up and the continuation again. So basically on gold, I'm saying I'm anticipating something like this. Break structure, maybe come all the way down here before maybe another pullback and the continuation. That's the life cycle of price for those that don't know the life cycle of price. So basically, I'm now targeting this low. This drop, I'm targeting this low. I showed you could have taken how you could have taken those cells from the tip, from the top there. I don't know who is drawing on my screen now. Who is this? Just about notation for others. Right. Let me just delete this. Just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute. Right. So having that understanding, it will help you to not just find yourself entering when you're not supposed to enter. All the zones that I'm marking are major zones that you must find yourself entering, right? All the zones that I'm marking, those are major zones. That one you could have entered, this one you could have entered. All those are swing, swing, swing. So now if you follow this, there's this internal level here, which is this one. So this internal level now, this internal level, if you notice, this internal level is the one that facilitated this move up, right? That's point number one. So what they can do now, if they want to now start dropping from there, they can actually change that internal character, because remember, externally they have changed the character externally. So inside here, this bullish order flow, they must shift market structure from bullish to bearish, because this was a high, that was a low, that was a high, higher low, higher high. So now when they come now and break here, pull back, continue. Once they've done this, this is now a low, because it's lower than that. They're also confirming the same thing now, that indeed we're now going down, but they'll pull back into a premium zone before the move downwards. Right. So once you've marked your major zones like this, on the weekly, on the daily, once you now have your major zones like this, all you now need to know is the action that must be taken now. Now, is it time to wait? Is it time to buy, or it's time to sell? That's the next important question. That's the next $1 billion or $1 million question. Right. So I think I spoke also about how you could have called this buy going up, as well as this sell from the top there coming down. I think I spoke about that. If you didn't get that one, you can as well go back to there's a YouTube video that I did explaining how you could have caught the buys going up, as well as those sells coming down. So there you can see an untapped supply zone. Just below it, we have a very beautiful liquidity there, which is good for us, because liquidity, remember, it's fuel that the institutions use to move price where they want to move it. If they want to move price down, they won't just go down straight. They'll go up, coming back up. They'll be coming back up to collect liquidity. After they collect the liquidity, they will tap into a zone before the overall and pushing price where they want to push it. So basically, that's a position, a swing position that one can actually eye for. In the It depends now with when is it gonna be there, around 1 November, which is next month. That's when the market might find itself all the way there. Right. So once you enter there, remember our ultimate target, first ultimate target is this one. That's a major trade opportunity. So there, as I said, you could have sold there. Selling there, you could have used now this leg as your first major target, or these internal legs, you could have used them to shift your stop loss to break even, or to shift or to lock profits, these internal ones. But this one, you would have targeted as your first target from the sell there. So if ever you manage to catch all those entries that I'm talking about, if you manage to catch all those entries that I'm talking about, you could have successfully made quite a decent amount of money just from those moves that I'm showing you now. So now we need to understand now what is going on inside. Inside here, remember what I said. Externally, we have a major change of character, and inside here, I'm expecting the same. I'm expecting a change of character inside for the price to continue respecting that external structure movement. Right. So the reason why I'm even relaxed on the gold for now is because of what I'm about to show you. Remember, last week we took sales. Was it last week or last week? But one, we took beautiful sales from around here, and they made us good money. Trust me, they made us good money. Right. So having marked my zones like this, done everything, done all of that and everything, we have this zone that must, once it breaks here, this is a change of character, an inside change of character. Once it's an inside major change of character, right? This one, which happened here, it's a minor change of character that is there to facilitate minor movements inside that will still be within the range of this whole movement. So once it breaks here, that's a major change of character now. The major change of character now is the one that will facilitate this major move. So this one was there to facilitate this minor move, which was a move which was there to generate liquidity. After, remember, those that are in the class, I've taught you over and over about the two kinds of entries that are always there on the market, the liquidity generating entries and the liquidity collecting entries. So this change of character was there to facilitate the liquidity generating entries. Liquidity generating entries here, they were happening where is liquidity? There is liquidity. Another form of liquidity here, you find that there is trend line liquidity that they'll come and collect as well. Above that trend line, there's liquidity that is there. Above that trend line, there is liquidity that is there. So right, there's liquidity there, there's liquidity there. So that's why I'm anticipating them to come, take out this and take out that before the major push down. So this internal movements, internal change of character, internal break of structure, what, it mustn't confuse your overall structure. It mustn't confuse. They will follow that internal structure up until they reach an external structure point of interest. They will respect that internal structure order flow up until they tap into the zone that they want to tap onto on a larger or a major structure. Right. So what can happen? What is it that can happen now? That's the question. That's the next question. Right. So yeah, after the change of character, you see, they pulled back, then they continued to broke structure. They broke the structure. After breaking this structure, they did pull back again. Those were opportunities that you could have simply entered here. You could have entered this on this breaker block zone. That's a breaker block there. This one, you could have entered it on this supplies zone there, broke structure, came back to the supply, then continued dropping. So even the sales of last week, there was nothing mysterious about it. It was something that we were even aware of before it happened. Even the NFP of this week, I can actually assure you that it's never going to be a mystery. This guy is most of the news, the major news that they will release to you is news that they would have analyzed technically. Right. So there you could have sold, change of character, pull back, there you could have sold, break of structure, pull back, there you could have sold. There again, you would have sold. We spoke about that sell that we took last week, which was here around this supply as well. Right there. So right now, what can happen is, remember, they also broke this internal structure. If they want to pull back before the continuation up, it's also okay, right? Because we know how to respond. Once the pullback happens, comes into our region, we know how to respond. We know how to respond to such. We know how to respond to such. Let me put this nicely like this. Right. So gold, this is the current structure now on the daily. Here we have a demand zone. But in as much as we have a demand, don't forget what you saw on the monthly, that it still has a lot of room to, because if you follow this internal order flow, it's bullish, right? That's a fact. Bullish, change of character, break of structure, blah, 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 blah. So it being a break of structure, it means this is our higher low, higher high. So they haven't broken the major, higher, higher low. So up until they break there, that's when we're going to know that we might tap into this before continuation up, then we go all the way down with it. Right. So the most important thing is to identify where is liquidity. Once you identify where liquidity is on the market, you are actually at a much greater advantage than someone who is just trading without knowing where liquidity is. If you don't know where liquidity is on the market, definitely you most probably be liquidity yourself. If you can identify where liquidity is on the market, you can definitely become the liquidity. So yeah, people they always come to me in my inbox talking about these breakout entries. There's nothing wrong. For example, after the change of character, right? Obviously, you'll be anticipating a pullback, right? A pullback. Either you can apply the same thing here, whereby shifting order flow. Once order flow shifts, then you jump in, whatever. Even this, so you're using this breakout, you're you're entering that trade targeting a certain zone up there. Same thing with this breakout. You're also targeting a certain level to the downside. You're not only using that. That is something that you're just adding to your overall confluence, to your overall market structure. That's just an additional confluence that you're just adding. That's just an additional confluence that you'll just be adding to your structure, to your analysis and everything. Right. So you would have done that. You would have done that same thing down here. You would have done this. But what I always tell people, don't just come and draw trend lines if you don't understand what structure is doing. Don't just come and draw trend lines. Remember, I've told you over and over, trend lines, they don't move the market. They are not the market. They don't detect where price will go. No, they're also a form of indicators. The only reason is that themselves, they are better indicators. They are better indicators, but hear me, don't start your analysis just on trend lines. Make sure you understand the entire market structure. Where are we coming from? Where are we going? All of that. Once you have that information, it will help you. It will help you in a huge way. This was a beautiful, beautiful trade. This one. Beautiful, beautiful. That was a beautiful trade. This one. The sell of last week. So the sell of last week, if you check, you could have held that sell all the way from where we entered. Remember, I didn't enter based on the trend line. I'm just drawing these trend lines for the sake of some of you who might think maybe, this guy maybe doesn't know trend lines. Come on. I have passed that stage. I'm way past that stage. So drawing these trend lines, I'm just drawing for you so that you see how you could have jumped in on certain zones, blah, blah, blah. That was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful trade opportunity there last week on the sell. That's why even this week, we don't just rush to jump in now into the buys, or if ever we're going to have any buys. We don't just rush because remember, after this major break of structure now, what can happen is you can get a pullback. There's nothing mysterious about that. That's how structure moves anyway, whereby you get a pullback. Once you get a pullback, they pull back into a premium zone. Once they pull back into a premium zone, they'll definitely drop from the premium zone. So basically, this is a zone. This one is inducement of this zone. This one is inducement of this zone. So those are the two zones that I will be looking at. If they're going to reverse, remember trace before continuation, which is something that is so possible, something that is so possible. So let me look at where the market is currently, and let's see what can we harness from there. Looking at where the market is, this is our low here. Right. Looking at where the market is, this is where the market is. If you notice here, if you zoom in nicely, zoom in, proper zoom in, you will realize now that this candle here, it was mitigated. No need to talk about that. So it can even come back to a mitigated zone. People, they think a mitigated supply or demand cannot be mitigated again, or it cannot be retested. There's nothing like that. It can still be retested. Same thing here. So this is a demand. This is a demand there. The market broke out of the demand, never retested the demand. So if ever it wants to really maybe give you a pullback buys, it might come all the way like this. We are going to have some pullback buys. Remember, we got the breakout structure. We're going to enter some pullback buys. We're going to enter them on this demand here that I just drew now. So on that demand, entering on that demand, once we enter on that demand, we are anticipating around this or this for the pullback. So that will just be a pullback, but don't forget our overall setup. Don't forget about it. So here, if you now want to start buying, start around this region. If it breaks, they come to the low, gives you confirmations, target 1, target 2 before the drop. So those are the things that I'm basically eyeing for right now on gold. It's now just a matter of waiting. It's now just a matter of waiting. Someone is busy asking, should I enter? Should I enter? No, you can't. If you missed last week's entry, it means definitely you're not fully committed to this thing. It's not really something that you are serious about or that you care about. Because if ever you're that serious, there's no way you could be missing major moves on the market. Right. So that's also another zone there, like the one that I showed you on a higher time frame, where I'm anticipating the market to come to. Right. So now we are just waiting. We're just waiting. If ever we're going to enter any trades on gold today, it's going to be around this region, whereby we wait for the market to tap into the region here or here. Then you take your buys, TP1, TP2 there before the continuation down. Them continuing down maybe might be to establish this change of character that I showed you there on the higher time frames. Or if they change character now, then they can pull back. Once they pull back now, they'll pull back finally now, all the way up before coming all the way down. Right. So gold, that is my anticipation. Currently, we are waiting. I know most of you are busy jumping into trades right now. Even whilst I'm talking, you are busy jumping into trades because you are not disciplined enough. You don't even know what you're doing. You don't even know what you're doing, yet you're busy jumping into trades without guidance, without proper guidance. So now you can't be buying gold now. It's time to wait for this zone or this region. Once it comes to those zones in those regions, go to 15-minute, get extra 15-minute, 30 minutes, get extra confluences. Once you get those extra confluences, then you can jump in to the trade. Right. So for gold, that is it for now. More updates will be shared in the VIP group there. The signal will be shared as usual. But for gold, that is it. I saw someone raising their hand. Who is it? You can ask, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, and you, Mr. Mike?
Wonderful.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask about these zones, the yellow zones, because I see them, they're bigger than the blue ones. Okay.
What?
It's 3:04 p.m.
What are you saying, sir?
zones that you highlighted, Mr. Mike.
Highlight what?
The zones, the yellow zones that you highlighted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask if, like, why are they so big? Like, is it the order flow? Because I don't know how you draw them. Because, like, the blue ones, I can see it somewhere, the order blocks or the supply and demand zones. But these yellow zones, what
It's
are
the
they?
same thing. It's the same thing. It's the
'Cause,
same thing.
like, I guess they just confuse me because some are too big, some they are small. So,
It's not even issue. What makes it big or small is the candles, not the block. The candles, the candles.
so these are the order blocks or the order flow.
No, order flow, you're talking about something else. You're talking about different things now. Order flow is what you
Okay.
see here, where the market comes, changes character, pull back, continue. This is order flow, order flow, order flow. This is bearish order flow. When it's coming like this, establishing lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. That's order flow.
Okay, but I think I see it now. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Let me move on to the Nasdaq.
All right.
Let's see what the Nasdaq is giving us. Is it giving us any opportunity to enter? I remember last week we took some buys that were stop loss hunted, those that were smart enough, and those that are in the VIP, that are aware that if ever the market comes and takes you out like this, comes back into your zone the next hour or the next hours, the best thing you can do for yourself is to get a re-entry. That's how I've taught everyone who is most of the guys who are in the class there. Like if the market takes them out, still goes back on their region, you can still attempt, you can still get a re-entry because either you were swept or it means something else happened, but mainly it will be the sweeps. Right. So Nasdaq is also at a very, very crucial zone on the monthly. Very crucial supply zone on the monthly. And also they've collected liquidity here. So the current level that we'll be looking for Nasdaq to drop onto is this low. If they fail to break this low, they can still continue going higher. Right? So if they fail to break this low, they come here, fail to break this low, they can still continue higher. Right. So that's our current range right now that I can talk about. No need for me to talk about all these other zones at the bottom, right? So on the weekly, you also realize that there's a zone that they didn't touch here, which is this supply here at the top. They never touched it on the weekly. Here, this is inducement to induce early sellers. Once the early sellers are induced, what they do is they'll come back to collect the liquidity. Once they've collected the liquidity, then they continue now where they wanted to initially go. That's how these guys think. That's how they operate. So that was a change of character there. Change of character there. After the change of character, what happened? They come back up. Coming back up, they're coming back to collect liquidity. Liquidity was generated in this form, trend line liquidity, with all sorts of liquidity that were here. Trend line liquidity, it was collected. Which other form of liquidity? Inducement liquidity also on the weekly is also yet to be collected. So it's still fine, all good, still good, still good, still good, nothing much to worry about. Right. So this is inducement liquidity here. So the probability of them coming here before they drop is so high. The probability of them coming to the supply zone to sell from there before proceeding, so high, right? Which is good, right? So now that is on the weekly. On the daily, 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 now you realize that structure, let's see if ever they fully changed structure. Because if they fully changed structure, it means they will now be targeting to do something else. So there, this was the law. They didn't break here, but they came here and they broke. Okay, which is good. If they break there, it means they come back and pull back into that supply, they can actually drop from there as well because there's liquidity here. So that will be a major entry from there. But now coming downwards, can Nasdaq still push further down? That's a question that someone can ask. Can Nasdaq still push price further down? That's a question that you as someone who is so eager to learn, that is the kind of questions that they must be asking. So once they or like here, you can see they broke below. So now all they need now is a zone like this. Once they get to this zone, they can give you a pullback there, continue maybe with this internal before the external, then they continue like this. So that's also something that I'm looking forward to. So long the move coming down doesn't break this low, they can still continue all the way up there. Right. So what else? What else? What else can one need to know here? So those are our zones. Those are our zones on Nasdaq. Those are our zones on the Nasdaq. Those are our zones on the Nasdaq. Right. So on the daily, I think I'm done. Let me go to the 4 hour. So you realize that by the time NFP comes on Friday, they'll just be repeating something that we did technically. Most of the news that give volatile moves or volatile entries on the market, those moves there. So this is it. This is it. Let me refine this. That's an imbalance fair value gap there. That's a demand there. Right. So yeah. So basically now, change of character. After the change of character, they came on to break structure. Break structure. Change of character, break of structure. After it's a break of structure like this. Right. Change of character. They pull back. They continue down. Them pulling back there. Let me draw my zone properly. This one. Like this, like this. Right, like this. So after this break of structure, change of character here, break of structure here. They are still pushing price, remember? They are still pushing price. They can decide to push it here, then continue shooting up, or even push it into a discount region before pushing it up. Right. Break of structure. After the break of structure, we are anticipating a reversal up before a continuation down. Right. Up there, let's see. I've there. I have also there. This one is a low probability because it's inducement. It's inducement, it's an inducement zone. Inducement zone. So, right. So Nasdaq can actually give us some buys. That is only after they established this internal shift of order flow. Once they establish that internal shift of order flow here, it means those buys can now happen on the Nasdaq, targeting there, targeting there, targeting there. Once they come and tap, touch, they can actually drop. They can actually give us a drop. But so far, this is the structure. It's also the same thing. We are waiting. Let's see. There's this inner demand. Let's see the 1 hour. If ever it can help us more on that. 1 hour. I like the fact that they literally changed character on the 1 hour, which is a good thing. Which is already it's a good thing. Remember was it last Friday where we took a buy on Nasdaq? Just swept you out, most of you, but some still managed to hold on up until. So here there's liquidity, there's a zone. What else do you want? Change of character here. So this is what I'm looking forward to on the Nasdaq today, actually. Today, I'm looking forward for buys on the Nasdaq. Many people, they're just buying with a lack of understanding like this. Right, so that's the trade opportunity I'm looking forward to on Nasdaq. This one, it's also a similar trade to VIX 75. It's also a similar trade to VIX 75 that we took, or we are planning to take. We actually took this buy. I mean, whereby you have a major break of structure, whereby here structure was broken. After the break structure, they establish internal shift in order flow from bearish to bullish, come back, collect liquidity, continue up before going down. Same thing here, broke structure, changed character, generated liquidity, blah, blah, blah. So guys, this is it for Nasdaq and gold. Those are our expectations. Nasdaq is almost presenting the opportunity for buys. Very beautiful opportunity for buys on the Nasdaq. Very beautiful opportunities as well for buys on VIX 75, which we are currently in. We're currently in buys now on VIX 75. We took, I think I gave this signal early in the morning. Early morning. I gave the signal early morning, but it's a very beautiful setup. So that is it for Nasdaq and for gold. In the evening, I think we'll also cover some crash and boom pairs so that we see. We'll also try to look at your other pairs that you trade for crash and boom. We'll also look at them in the evening. So guys, those are the setups that we're currently having. And these are the trade opportunities I'm currently waiting for. I'm currently waiting, same as my team in the VIP. They're waiting and right. So guys, we are done here. We are done. I hope you rewatch the video on YouTube. If you find the video on YouTube just now in the next 15 to 30 minutes, you'll find the video on YouTube. Get knowledge, get understanding. Knowledge is so powerful. Knowledge is so powerful. What are details for VIP? What are details? Right, those that are asking for VIP, contact me in my inbox on WhatsApp. WhatsApp me on my number. My number is 073 125 7824. That's my WhatsApp number there. WhatsApp me those that are asking for VIP, those that are asking for mentorship. WhatsApp me there. You'll be educated on that. You'll be educated on that. Right, guys. So those that will want to rewatch, you can go and rewatch the session straight on YouTube. You'll find it just now on YouTube. VIX 75 is a buy. We are currently in a buy. We are inside a buy right now. If you want to jump in, but we are currently in a buy. If it doesn't buy from there, I have this region as well. The worst case scenario is whereby it comes all the way to this low for a sniper entry. Once it comes there, rejects, close above. That would be a sniper buy entry that you can enter from there. That is if it comes there. If it doesn't come, it will just go from where it is around 78.688% to go up from there. So guys, thank you guys. See you. Make sure you watch the video. You'll find it on YouTube. You'll find it just now on YouTube. Thank you for being here.